Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Weird Ventures. It's been a little while. Lovely to see you all again. Uh, right now we're going through Curse of Strahd. Lovely, lovely campaign full of happiness and delight and not dark and dreary at all. We have a lovely cast of characters with us today, and one by one we'll go through and introduce all of them and the lovely people that are playing them. So we're going to start off, as we usually do, with Balthazar.
Hello, my name is Cosmic, currently playing Balthazar, the party's Azamar Grave Cleric.
Yes, indeed. Next up, we'll go to Biner.
Hi, this is Chris. I'm playing Binur the Wise, the Star Druid.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we've got Ina.
Hi, my name is RJ. I will be playing Ina, the Halfling Enchantment Wizard.
Yes. Then we've got Ophelia.
Hi, my name is Corey, and I'll be playing Ophelia, the Triton Sorcerer Warlock.
Oh, yes. And then we've got Penny.
Hi, this is Jennifer playing Penny Peanut Posy Poppy Your Garden, your Phantom Rogue Forest Gnome.
Yes. And last but not least, we've got Porum.
Hello, my name's Migs, and I'll be playing Porum, our Fairy Fighter Cleric.
Yeah. Now, we're going to have a recap here in just a second, but before we do, I just want to say, if you enjoy watching our streams or watching on YouTube, please remember to give us a little subscribe, hit a like, do a follow, all of that good stuff. It means a whole lot to us, and we really appreciate it. But with that out of the way, it has been a while since our last session. I definitely don't mind doing the recap, but if anyone does want to grab that free inspiration, I offer it to you. All right, I'll take it then. So, oh, yes?
I was gonna volunteer. I was
Go.
just shaking a sip of water.
No, it's all good. You absolutely can do the volunteering and get that inspiration.
Okay. I don't remember specific details, but last session we started off in combat as we happened to trigger what was it called? A gallows spirit?
A gallows speaker.
Gallows speaker.
Yes.
Good trigger to combat with the gallows speaker. It was a rough combat. A few people nearly got buried into the dirt by the little milings that the gallows speaker summoned. It certainly tried to target everyone in the party and got to Porum and showed some of his most traumatic secrets, or I guess traumatic moments of his past, to a few of the other party members
Mm-hmm.
in order to distract and damage them. But in the end, we were able to take down the gallows speaker and the milings that had been left, and were not destroyed by that point. Simply stopped being a bit of a haunting and apologized and disappeared off into the ether.
Yeah.
Party spent some time checking up on Porum, scouting a little ways ahead, and I believe it was Ophelia who checked out around the gallows specifically, while Balthazar was doing a little bit of cleansing rites to the graveyard behind the gallows.
Mhm.
I believe she found a tooth,
Mhm.
I think?
Yes,
And
a golden
a
sharp canine tooth.
yes, and a necrotic emitting skull.
Well,
Was it a skull?
the tooth was emitting necromancy magic.
Ah,
It was inside the
it was the
skull.
tooth. Yes. She took that with her and tucked it away and did not mention it to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe most of us eventually continued onwards and came across a little camp by a river with uh, a bunch of Vistani people, and surprisingly, Dahlia in their midst. They seem to be very welcoming, and were kind of very suspiciously in the know about what some of us liked as they
Mm-hmm.
served it up to us. So there was some mistrust, but you know they were mostly friendly, very genuine. It seemed, and mentioned that they only knew it because there is a seer that they have in their midst.
Yes.
While some of the party got fed and asked questions as to where their caravan was headed, one by one, each one of us slowly went to the seer's tent, starting off with Aina, and got some fortunes given to us that were more than a little concerning. Also, just worry. No, concerning and worrying are the same thing. Well, they gave us a lot to think about, and that's for certain. And we kind of left it off there with Ophelia and Porum still haven't, being the only ones who haven't gotten their fortunes read quite yet.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good recap. Go ahead and give yourself that inspiration.
Hey.
And yeah, we'll hop right back into it, because the last person to get their fortune read was Balthazar, seeing a very interesting chess game between Aina and the Shadow of Balak, with some third party using a red piece that seemed to shift, interceding during the game. But you bid the seer farewell, return to the camp, where there's quite a few people still processing, I guess. But there are two that haven't yet. As you'd also see, setting the scene, the moon is bright, the sky clear, directly over the Sur pool. In the distance, you can see that sort of mist, or what looks like it. You see rain in the distance. Perfect circle of clear sky surrounding the area around the camp as horses drink from the clear waters and the Vistani enjoy delicious food and drink. Dahlia seems to be partaking of it as well. As, Balthazar, you return to the camp.
He'll return as quietly as he had likely left. He's very. He definitely throws a look of concern over towards Aina, considering the vision he had. But we'll look away before they get a chance to notice him staring, and we'll just take a seat at wherever he can fit.
No, don't.
Yeah, sit down by the fire. It's nice and warm, especially after long hours of trudging through the muddy woodlands of Barovia.
Yeah, no, he's as quiet as he usually is, if a little bit more. Just very thoughtful look on his face.
Madame Ava would have asked you to invite the next person in, as long as they wanted to get their fortune read, of course.
He would have noticed everyone else go. He's going to throw a quick side glance over at Porum and to Ophelia. And we'll just softly mention, if either of the two of you wanted your fortunes read, Madame Ava is free for the moment.
I guess at that point, Ophelia would get up. I'm assuming Dahlia still has the wine bottle, elderberry
Yeah,
wine.
yeah.
She'll grab it, take a quick swig, and then just kind of like toss it back to her, and then just go forth.
Yeah, she'll call out to you as you go, you know. Take anything that you hear in there with a grain of salt, you know. Fates aren't set for anybody. She'll take a swig.
I'll keep that in mind.
Right. You enter the tent, and you'd see magical flames are casting a faint glow over the interior of the tent. You'd see that low table covered with black velvet cloth, glints of light seeming to flash from the crystal ball that lays on the table as Madame Ava softly rests her hands atop it, peering somberly into its depths. You step forth. She looks up at you with a faint smile. Ah, you must be the princess.
Yes, that is me.
Heavy burden has been placed on your shoulders. I'm sorry you've had to bear it for so long. Please take a seat.
Thank you for offering. As she, pulls up a seat, and kind of like scooches in close. Before we get into the fortune, if it's all right, I was told about you by, I believe her name was Sorvia.
Oh. Sorvia, I remember when she was just a little girl. Is she doing well?
She is doing just fine right now, but her husband, Gorick, I'm afraid that he had fallen ill, and not by regular biological means. I believe when my party and I were looking at it, we thought it could potentially be a night hag. It was something that was commanding him to do harmful things towards others in his sleep.
Oh, poor man. She shakes her head softly. It's terrible, terrible news. I hope that whatever is tormenting him either finds other more deserving prey or can be stopped.
Do you know if it is a night hag or what else it might be? Sorvia said you may have some insight.
She'd nod her head a little, thinking on it. And after a few moments of concentration and deeper thought, eventually she would say, there are beings like that who roam these lands. Sons and daughters born of darkness, who feed on dreams and encourage wrath. Would not be surprised if that was indeed what has been harming her.
Okay.
Or harming him, rather.
We were able to provide a tea that can stop a person from having dreams, but it can be risky if not made precisely.
It's a wonderful thing that you have created, then. And yes, while it is dangerous, a slow death at a being of night's hand sounds like it would be much worse. Or worse yet, being driven mad enough by it to commit the crimes it asks. It is a mercy.
I thank you for more or less just confirming it for us. We had an idea, but I guess I just wanted to know for sure.
These lands have an uncountable number of horrors, I'm afraid. The small tribe I travel with, we do what we can to alleviate it, but if it can cause harm, chances are it's found some dark nook in these woods somewhere, I'm afraid to say. We are planning on taking our tribe down to Little Barovia here after our encounter with you, though. Maybe we can do something else to help while we're there. Though our stay is brief, just going to offer poor Arik some of the wine we've brought from outside the mists.
That would be most appreciative.
She gives you a small smile.
I would owe you a large debt for that.
Oh, please, no. You made something, by the sounds of it, that helped one of my own. You would owe me no such thing.
All right then.
She does look a little bit wary, I will say, after telling you that you owe her no such thing. You can roll an insight if you like.
Yeah, I think I would like to.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not hiding it particularly well, or really trying to hide it. You get the feeling that she is aware that you already have significant debts on your shoulders.
Hmm. I don't think she'd say anything about it.
Okay. Now, would you allow me to show you what it is that the fates wish for you to see, Ophelia?
Yes, I'm ready.
Very well. She shuffles her deck and allows you to take a card. As you do, the card that you draw is the Master of Coins, the Rogue. As you take that card and she sees it, you'd say, "Ah, the Rogue. It represents, well, anyone for whom money is most important. Those who believe money is the key to their success. Fates must be indicating you will encounter some such person on your journey. You can delve deeper into it, however, if you'd like to place the card on the table nearby my seer's stone."
Okay then. And she'll place the card right by the seer stone.
Alright. And as the face is reflected in the crystal ball, you watch as Madame Ava concentrates. The figure slowly shifting and changing as it does, transforming into a burly looking man with a scowl on his face, a thick beard, hair pulled back. He is wearing similar clothes to those who sit outside just behind you. Colorful garments of the Vistani. And you'd see him there as, again, this scowl is on his face. He seems to be arguing with someone, though they're just out of sight. So they're standing just inside of a tent, much larger than any of the tents here. Quite massive. As he argues with them a little bit, you can see shadows from inside the tent, as if there's a fire in the center, smoke coming from the top, and the shadows illuminate the figure of, looks like a bear. Maybe a grizzly, but it's nearly twice the size of what one should be. And you'd see as more shadows seem to reflect another figure being pushed towards it, as the central man, the rogue, turns away and begins walking towards the woods. As he does, you see as Madame Ava, her wrinkled fingers curl and her eyes squint down as she is concentrating and doing what she can to maintain the image before you. Doing what you can to hold on to it.
Is there more?
There is more. There is. And she, again, doubling down her efforts, you would see as he walks down a path that has corpses of wolves on it, more figures joining him on horseback, meeting a small group of unfamiliar faces. They look weak and worn, men and children, as he speaks to them, bids them to follow him. And as they do, you watch as them, the horses and the men on their back, walk towards the wall of mist from whence you came, and disappear into it. Slowly but surely vanishing, but as you squint your eyes, you still see the silhouette of that central figure, that broad-shouldered, burly silhouette, the horses and the men on their back, but those weak, worn figures seem to vanish into nothingness as they are led into the mist. And with that, Madame Ava lets out a small cough, and with it, the illusion breaks, leaving just the card on the table, the crystal ball swirling with mist. He lets out a few deep breaths to regain herself. As she does, she murmurs softly, "Oh, Luvash, Vashwai."
Luvash Vashwai?
She, shakes her head softly. "No, that was someone I recognize. A man named Luvash," she says softly, as if she herself had witnessed something that she did not wish to see.
And I asked you about who that man is that I saw.
She is quiet for a moment. There is a great sadness in her eyes. He's the leader of the other Vistani camp, the one near Valaki. heard of dark dealings there, but she just shakes her head. This is it's not right.
You know if Vistani would ever just go into the mist. I'm correct, right? Do you have any idea why he would be rounding anyone up to go to the mist?
I'd heard tales, but I did not wish to believe them, she'd say softly. We Vistani are one of the few people who can traverse the mists, make it to the other side. As part of our protection given to us by Strahd. It's where we were able to find the wine to bring it back. I use it to go out and help others and bring joy from the outside world back here, but there are some who live in Barovia who they think our passage is a secret, something that can be taught as opposed to a gift granted to us. They must have believed they could make it to the other side.
So he could be leading people astray, providing false hope.
What I saw is what I think. Perhaps. She's just staring at the orb, speechless from what she's seen. I'm sorry, this is your fate. You may cross paths with him. I should not interfere. Where could we have gone astray, Luvash? Hand delicately curls off of the crystal ball as she rests it on the table. Still a little bit shaky as she just looks into its depths with a profound sadness.
Ophelia would grasp her hands, trying to, just hopefully help calm her.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, dear. I often tell those who seek their futures to be told what they see may not be pleasant for them, but it rings just as true for me as it does for anyone else, I suppose.
I understand. I suppose I should respect your choice to not want to interfere, even though I have so many questions.
He looks softly up to you and say simply, if you would either help him or find some way to put a stop to what is happening there, I would answer for you what I can.
Well, I suppose. Just for clarification, Derek, when you mentioned like that he was joined by riders, were those just like regular people, or were those other Vistani, or was he the only Vistani that?
They looked like Vistani as well.
Okay. You said he's in charge of the Vistani camp in Valaki. Could you tell me any notable people that he's with?
His brother is here now, Aragal. Wish to know how our camp was doing, so he rode down to visit us. Other than that, well, there are the Dusk Elves I've been quite worried about as well.
What has you worried about the Dusk Elves?
They are in our care. They are protected by us. She would say softly, and give me just a quick moment, because you did ask for significant people, and there is definitely a name within that camp that is of importance. So give me 1 second to find that name for you. While I wait for this to load, though, the Dusk Elves are under our protection. There was a time where Strahd nearly wiped their people out. Those that remain are encamped with us. And Strahd has kept to his promise to do us no harm. They've been safe with us, but I worry with how far Luvash has fallen. I worry what may happen to them if his ire goes their way. The eldest amongst them is named Casimir. Casimir Velikov. I'll type that out for you as well. Type out a couple of names. Luvash. Casimir Velikov. He is their elder, the oldest of those who remain. You meet him on your travels. Be kind, I suppose, is all I can say. These people have been through so much in these dark lands.
That I can do, but I saw it on your face before. You seem to have knowledge of other debts I might have.
She nods her head softly.
My thoughts being, I don't know what it is that I might be asked to do. Is there any way that you can help me figure that out?
She would extend a hand, offering you to extend yours.
Okay. Ophelia will extend her arm out to her, or her hand.
I may be able to read it in your palm, she'd say softly, and begin tracing the grooves of it as she had Biner so recently before. And as she does, running it along a particularly deep mark, goes diagonal through the center of your hand. She would think on it for a moment. I do not know what it will take from me, Ophelia, but I do see that whatever it is that it wishes to take, it will be taking it tonight. Or at least one of the things it seeks to take. The other is too deeply shrouded, I'm afraid.
I guess Ophelia might look almost shell-shocked
Mm-hmm.
just by the, I guess, proximity of the event. How close it is. I I'm sorry, that's so soon.
Yes. Wish I had more that I could say.
Even knowing that is, I guess, better than knowing nothing.
Sometimes knowing the future is. Sometimes it isn't. But
Have you come across... Sorry.
no. You continue.
Okay. Have you come across people who have been affected by Zuden before?
Zuden is one of many dark powers that inhabit this land. They have touched many time here. Some they may have touched that you've already met and you would have no way of knowing.
I suppose. I'm I'm sorry. I'm just lost in thought.
She nods her head with understanding.
You've given me much to think about.
I often do. She would reach out a hand to squeeze yours, and before you go, would say, the price the dark powers ask for is never something light. It's always something quite heavy. But stay strong, and you can bear that burden.
I think I've just realized what a fool I've been. But I do thank you.
Of course, dear. Believe there's only one left for me to see. If they wish, would you invite them in?
Yes, I will go fetch them.
Thank you, dear.
Oh. Of course. And Ophelia would get up, walk outside of the tent, and go look for Porum.
Right? What does Porum look like as Ophelia approaches? Because Porum, you've probably had the hardest day of anyone. I
Yeah,
would imagine.
Porum's still looking a little I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's okay.
Porum's just kind of looking still very deadpan, monotone, just here but mentally not there.
Finding Porum, Ophelia would sort of like walk over, kind of bend down, and just be like, Porum, if you'd like to have your fortune told, you may go visit Madame Ava now.
Porum's gaze just gonna very not coldly, that's not the right word, but I guess dully is the right word. Meet or his gaze will meet Ophelia's, and he'll kind of just blink once and slightly nod his head and then get up and start walking towards the tent.
Right?
Before he does get up, Ophelia would say, I know you've been through a lot, and it's okay if you don't want to get it read.
No, I think it's good to get some answers. What's the harm, right?
You
What
might
could
have-
possibly go wrong?
You might have more questions than answers.
Some answers are better than none at this point for me. I'm just gonna go real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Thanks for checking on me, though.
Not a problem, Porum.
Flutter, flutter, flutter to the tent.
Alright. You flutter into the tent and you see the solemn expression of Madame Ava still gazing into the crystal ball, murmuring one last time, just a sad whisper of Luvash before noticing that you have come inside. As she looks up at you, she'd say, "Oh, yes. You must be the one who can still hear the voice of your god, this cursed realm. Are you Porum?"
He just nods.
"Please, if you wish it, take a seat. I imagine you've had a long and arduous road. If you would like for me to share with you what the fates wish for you to see, you can take a card and learn your fortune."
Porum will take a seat and kind of just stare at the cards for a second, kind of wanting to decide what he wants to do next. And he will take the first top card that he sees very quickly and just place it face down and just slide it towards her because he doesn't even want to look at it at this moment. He's kind
Gotcha.
of too afraid.
Yeah. And as you do, the card that you place is the broken one. An image of a shattered mirror and one who looks in despair on it. As Madame Ava's face is saddened and she pauses for a moment before describing it to you. Her voice very soft when she finally does. The broken one represents defeat, failure, and despair. The loss of something or someone important, without which one feels incomplete. She rests her hand softly on the ball before her, seeing as you are averting your gaze. Whenever you are ready, glance into the crystal ball and you will see what it is that the fates wish for you to see, Porum.
Porum lifts his eyes to meet hers and then adverts his gaze down into the crystal ball.
Alright. As you do, you would be drawn in the reflection to the center of the cracked mirror where all of the lines seem to gather. And that slowly but surely shifts into a golden depiction of the sun. And as it does, that golden depiction seems to be a effigy, or more accurately an altar, and one that you recognize from your own past. It was the altar to Lathander, which you often prayed at before you went on your mission. You remember it deeply and vividly, kneeling there, asking, begging for Lathander to answer your prayers. And as you watch, you see yourself there doing exactly that, just as you remembered. But the more you pray, the more the memory seems to change. The depiction of the sun rising higher and higher and growing larger, the centerpiece of this large chapel that's now unfamiliar. Snow softly falling, the window panes, and yourself. You see your hair growing white, your body growing longer, your face changing to that of an older man. Your wings shifting from that of butterflies to that of an angel. Feathers on the back tell it is a figure that you yourself don't recognize, and as it does, as everything else is different, the action happening is still the same, still something so viscerally close to your heart, reaching out towards this golden sun, begging for their God to hear them, to understand, and as they stand to reach out for the sun to get closer, their shadow rises behind them, its lips curling. And it's at this moment that Ava is straining and struggling to keep what she is showing you in existence. You see almost vein on her forehead as she is trying with all of her might. The divination she's been doing tonight finally catching up on her as she struggles to keep the misty image from breaking.
Porum is going to, for a split second, just look up at her, and he kind of steps back into reality for the moment, and is just going to squeeze her hand, or place his other hand on top of hers, and kind of just squeeze it a little bit, and just say, "You're straining yourself. Please, if you have to stop, it's okay. I don't want you to hurt yourself."
Morton, please, there is more. It is most important that you see just a few more moments, she would ask, as her fingers curl.
He'll look back into the crystal ball.
Right. As the shadow's lips curl, you would see two razor-sharp fangs. The silhouette, very familiar to you from the day in the graveyard. As the figure grabs this stranger, this angel, by his wings, places a foot on his back, and pulls. There's a spray of blood that seems to eclipse the room, dripping from the ceiling down, and as it does, the scene has changed. The arms of the sun are now human arms. The sunburst, tipped with human hands connected, or rather stitched on to a massive humanoid eye. The figure now holding the angel's wings in his hand smiles and dips back down into the earth. As he does, the angel himself, looking horrific despair, crouched over in pain, would find on the ground before them a book. It too seems to be stitched in human flesh, and as they look down on it, there is an eerie, nihilistic smile. And just as that smile cracks, so too does the illusion before you. As with a great gasp of relief, Madame Eva leans back where she's sitting, her hand slipping from yours as she takes deep breaths. Seemingly speechless, at least while she tries to recatch it.
Porum's Porum's gaze is just going to be locked on the crystal ball, and fear is just plastered all over his his facial expression, and like disgust about what he just saw. Quick question though, Derek.
Yes.
Was the smile from the book?
The smile was from the angel looking down at the book.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gonna write that in my notes.
Yes. I'm sorry. Takes quite a lot out of you, she would say softly. Especially visions as dark as that one. Are you okay, Porum? She would ask, using a shaky hand to pat yours, or she'd removed her own.
I don't know what I just saw. It was just disgusting.
Horror unlike any I have seen yet. I'm afraid to say. I'm sorry you had to witness it.
But what does it mean?
It's hard for me to say now, but fates wanted you to see it. And perhaps you will find the meaning of it further on in your journey. Perhaps it is not meant to be understood yet, but later, and in due time.
Horan kind of just shakes his head in a little in disbelief, also like a little bit in like frustration, and is just gonna like mutter, "Hopefully he was right. There would be more questions than answers from this. I'm sorry, but I don't think I should have come here. I appreciate your time, but I just don't know anymore."
You need time and space. You are welcome to it. Dearly sorry, you would say, softly, and grab the edge of the black velvet cloth and use it to cover the crystal ball before you, hoping that it may bring you some small amount of peace.
Like, was I don't understand that vision. Was I the angel? Why did I turn into an angel? I don't recognize that person. I'm so confused.
Maybe one who's in a similar position as you, who you've yet to meet. Perhaps. Perhaps it could be something else entirely. The fates rarely speak in such straightforward terms.
The fates need to work on their communication skills.
Gets a small, sympathetic smile from her. Would certainly make my job a lot easier if they did.
Torm's just slightly going to squeeze her hand, and his hand's going to be shaking a little bit.
Does what you can to steady you. Says, whatever the case is, I do tell all those I give readings to this. Even from the worst visions given, nothing is set in stone. Some are warnings, can be used to change one's fate. Even if what you see puts fear deep into your heart, there may be a chance to avoid it.
There's a slight look of reassurance on Porum's face. Although very slightly, he's still looking more terrified, but there's just a slight look of like
Absolutely.
validation and like, cool, I can change to this. But he's just going to slowly get up from the table and move his hands from hers, and Thank you again for doing this for me. I know it wasn't easy on you, and
Of course,
I'm just going to go.
it's not easy on anyone in the process, but must at least try. Thank you for allowing me to. Walk in peace, Poro. He gives you a small nod as you go.
And may you walk in the light. And he'll just leave.
Alright. As you begin approaching the camp once again, now a bit quieter after all of y'all have had your fortunes and much to think about. Harris is in the middle of telling everybody something as you're walking up, saying, well, fortunes usually get people like that. It's not the best for partying, I know, but we do have some tents for you over there if you need to have some alone time to think about things, or if you want some privacy to discuss them. Please get some comfort food if you like it. I've had my own fortune told a couple of times, and oh, let me tell you, broke my heart, one of them, he'd say with a little sniff and a wipe of his eye. Please, get plenty of rest, and I'll still be around if you do want to continue and talk and party and forget about whatever it is, but don't feel like you have to sit around and put on a smile for my sake, he'd say with a bit of a grin.
Well, Ida just kind of like pats their knees a little bit as they stand up and just make their way quietly to the tent.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's like, meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are 3 tents in total. The tents are big enough to where you could all crowd into one for, like, talking. But as far as sleeping goes, about 2 people per tent. I guess, not including a 4th tent, which would be Irene and Ismark. So, if y'all all wanted to crowd into one tent and do a discuss, you can, or you can split up. The choice is yours, really, how you want to spend the evening.
Are we the type of party to gather around and even talk about feelings to each other?
I know, right? I'm giving you all that option if you want to.
We have to talk to each other?
I know.
What about the NPCs to distract us?
I mean, you can talk to the NPCs. I said they're all still going to be there. Just letting you know your option.
Balthazar will ask, his name's very bad at them.
The main guy, Harris? Yeah.
Yes. He's just gonna quietly ask, does it always take that much out of Madame Eva when she gives her readings?
Well, usually she has a bit more time to spread them out, and, well, we knew this one was going to be a bit of a doozy, I suppose. Sometimes the content of the vision determines how it's going to affect her. Many of these visions, well, the way she described it to me is, if she is the actor in a play, the figures you see are her as if she was there. Happens to them happens to her in her mind's eye. So it can be intense.
Is there any way to help ease that for her?
Well, she's gonna be getting a long rest, and you don't have too many visions that she's gonna be doling out for a while. It's not often that she says the fates themselves want to speak to somebody, so your group must be awfully special, he'd say with a small grin.
Balthazar only gives like a tiny nod to that, and he's just gonna look over the group. How is everyone looking?
Horrible.
Well, Biner's tipped over to the side a little bit.
Oh, he's tipsy. He's tipsy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll fix it, no worries. I'm just giving you a tease.
You know.
Just spin me right
He's
around.
just finished writing on some paper, and then he's about to get up and head to bed.
Ophelia's just kind of like hunched over with her like, fingers interlocked, kind of like staring into the fire and glancing over at oh man, come on.
Aragal?
Yeah. Just like not a ton, not just like straight up staring him down, just like
Yeah. He is cooking some of that salmon you caught still and feeding it to some of the others who didn't get any food yet. Glancing towards Harris every once in a while.
What sort of glances?
I mean, Ophelia's the one who said she was looking, so Ophelia wants
yeah,
to roll an
what
insight.
what kind of glances?
If you want to roll an insight, you can, Ophelia.
Oh boy, let's see.
Are they romance glances?
Yeah, could they be romance?
Are they flirtatious?
That's
That's
pretty
really
good
good.
insight.
Ooh.
You get the feeling that he wants to talk to Harris about something, but is waiting for the right time to.
Okay.
Glug,
A
glug,
love
glug, glug.
confession.
Doesn't seem lovey-dovey. Seems like I need to have a private conversation.
Wink, wink.
Jesus.
Quote unquote private conversation.
And since you rolled so high, I will
Uh,
let you know he's trying to convince Harris of something. You get the feeling he's trying to sell him on something. You know,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
got that car salesman look.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not another one.
Drugs.
Like, is Aragol I guess for Aragol and Harris, how many other people are there in this camp? Are they surrounded? Am I able to talk to Harris without necessarily drumming up a lot of attention from Aragol?
I mean, he is glancing at Harris, every once in a while, so he'd probably notice that you're pulling to the side, but you could still have a private conversation. Just he would notice that you've done it, I guess.
Sure. I got you. I might try to go get up, and go talk to Harris.
Yeah,
Maybe, kinda. Why not?
you absolutely can. As Spiner goes and finds a tent. I will say, for those who are making their way to the tent, the bedrolls they have for you are like a nice, thick animal fur, very, very plush and cozy, and it's still a tent, but they're clearly very used to this being nomadic people. It's quite cozy in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Harris is having a conversation with Dahlia. As you approach Ophelia's, Dahlia's just like, yeah, no, they looks really rough. Whatever's been going on in their faces. Is it usually like that? No, it's not usually that bad, but I had a feeling about this one, you know, that's why we got all this food and try to make it nice so that way they wouldn't just hate us because Ava told them some really bad shit. And oh, hi, Ophelia.
Am I interrupting anything?
No. What can old Harris do to help you?
I was wondering if I could actually have a word with you.
Like, looks around a little bit. Surprise? It's like, sure.
Uh,
Good luck. Dahlia gives you a wink.
Thank you, Dahlia.
You got this.
Mhm.
I boozed him all up for you.
That's not what I want to talk to him about.
But he is a little bit boozed up, and he doesn't hear any of this. He's oblivious to it. You pull him off to the side somewhere, I'm assuming, looking for some privacy.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go to the side of the camp.
Cool.
Madam
Cool,
Ava's
cool,
getting some sleep in. All right. We planning a prank on somebody? Huh? He's rubbing his hands together.
God. Unfortunately, I wish... You know, maybe after this we could play a prank on someone.
I like the sound of that.
Are you close to Argal?
Oh, we go way back. Yeah. We learned how to ride together.
Ride horses?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Not zombie horses?
no. I don't. We when we have to put a horse down, we put him down twice. You get my say.
Yeah, I do. Would you guys... I take it you'd consider then you two were friends.
Yeah, he's had my back quite a few times, and I have his.
What about... you know, his, brain, come on. Do
Luvash?
it. Do the words. No, not Luvash. Just...
His brother?
I didn't know if I wanted to specifically ask about his brother, but...
No, that's okay.
What about his, brother?
Oh, Luvash. Oh. He's a little less charming, I guess. He's kind of a bully, if I'm being 100% honest.
Oh. I'd prefer honesty.
Not as big a fan of Luvash, truth be told.
Why might that be?
He sighs a little bit, thinks on it. And, you can roll me a persuasion.
Okay.
It's pretty good. You're thinking on it for a bit. You seem like an alright kid. Vash is, well, I say he's a bit of a bully. Not so much a bully to me or Aragal. He's, real good at getting things done. But sometimes things break with the way he tries to get them done. Wants to make sure everybody is fed, everybody's living the good life, but doesn't always think about, you know, people outside our group that might affect. He's, well, loyal to Vistani. Not much else. You don't see him out here in the caravan with Madame Ava going to deliver a few drinks to some old friends who could really use it down in Little Barovia, you know what I'm saying?
I do. When you do come across Sorvia and Goric and Mirabelle, just tell them we all said hello. We hope that they're staying safe.
You got it. It says with a big grin and gives you a couple of slaps on the back of your shoulder.
Thanks. Do you... I think I overheard you saying that you'd had visions from Madame Ava before, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Are they... Dahlia said that, don't necessarily believe at full heart, but how reliable have they been for you?
Well, there was this girl that I was very into, and I asked how that would go. And, well, I got the reading. Madame Ava said it was a lost cause. And I believed, oh, you can change your fate. It'll be great. Everything will be good. So I, did a bit of wooing. It's very, very sweet, very nice. I told her how I felt. I made a heartfelt letter. I got this back. It's a reminder. And he pulls out a little note in his hand, and he gives it to you.
What does it say?
You open it up. It says, "Sorry, Harris, but, I'm gay." Signed by Slavenka. He gives that a couple of pats.
That is rough.
It is rough, but her and her wife are doing very well now. I'm quite happy for them.
I'm happy for you that you could move past it.
Oh, it took me a bit of time. It definitely did. The frankness of the letter certainly knocked me on my ass for a couple of months. But, some fates can be changed. Others, well, I don't think that could be changed, he says, with a big grin, a little laugh that causes his shoulders to jump a little bit as he gently takes it back from you.
Ophelia would just also join in on the laugh. I understand what you mean. Well, might as well barrel into it. I've been barreling into everything so far here. My vision with Madame Ava is a bit concerning, considering it involves Luvash.
Ooh.
I can respect if you don't want to hear it, and I'll give you that option.
You want to share? I'm not one for gossip, but he's one of ours. He's causing trouble. That responsibility does fall on us,
I know.
Maybe I can get Aragal to talk some sense into him.
Well, right, so... and she'll just kind of detail, what she had seen
Mhm.
with Madame Ava, and had, and she'll also then just relay like that. Also, Aragal has been glancing at you. I'm thinking he's going to try to convince you of something.
Oh,
I don't have a feel. I'm sure he cares about his brother, what with it being family and all, but I'm not entirely certain what he might ask you.
well, he has always been a bit of a schemer. He's the ideas guy, so I'd be too surprised if he had something, but what is it, what is it that you need to tell me?
If it's about potentially his brother and either getting people to go into the mist or by selling your Vistani protection, turn him down, talk some sense into him.
Sending people to the mist, yeah, no. I had plenty of people asking me to do that, but never take them up on it. That's... He shakes his head.
I could be wrong, but just watching him eye you, I guess I just feel more cautious about it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. He sort of glances back towards the camp and meets Aragal's eyes for a moment as he's glancing up to watch you. Clearly too far of a distance to hear anything you're saying, but going back to handing some food out and sort of shake his head a little bit, turn back to you, just say, hope to God that's what Luvash is doing. He didn't rope his brother down that path. That's real bad.
Yeah, I really hope that I'm wrong and that it's something completely different.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me a heads up, even if I hope it's bullshit. That's quite honestly. He gives you another clap on the shoulder.
Like I said, I also hope it's not that.
Now I'm hoping that, well,
Who knows? Maybe he'll ask you to open like a fish boat restaurant on the lake.
God. Not if I have to rely on him for catching fish. Maybe if you were sticking around.
I don't know. I might command quite a hefty salary.
Oh, well. I don't know. Fresh salmon like that. Well, I'm sure if Strahd had taste buds, he'd get some, but I think he'd make for the best dinner guest. Don't know if anyone else could afford it.
Ophelia just thinks about the dinner letter now.
Yeah.
Right then. I hope I didn't spoil your mood.
Nah, it's hard. It's hard to spoil my mood. Once you've been in and out of Barovia as many times as I am, you just kind of learn to roll with the punches, you know. But
Yeah.
it does mean that I'm gonna need another drink. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. As he starts stumbling his way back to camp. Unless, of course, you wanted to stop him, but yeah. He's probably gonna stumble his way over.
She'd probably just say amen to that and also go grab a drink.
Alright. Very nice. did Penny want to talk to anybody, or does Penny want to hit the sack for the night?
No, Penny's just kind of chilling out on
Okay.
her own. She's just listening
Yeah,
to people.
I get you. I have a question for you, Jan. Because I know you're feeling a little sick. Would you like me to have an NPC go and interact with you? Because I had something in mind. But also, if you're just like, I kind of just want to chill out this session, I can definitely save it for later. Because, I know talking while you're feeling sick is kind of shitty. I don't want to do that to
Yeah.
you if you're not feeling it.
Yeah, can we save it?
Of course, absolutely. Thank you for
Okay.
letting me know. In that
Thank you.
case. Yeah. In that case, sounds like Porum and Balthazar are having a bit of conversation. Or is that over?
I think it's still going.
Yeah, you can still go on.
Yeah. If y'all want to switch to voicing it, you can.
Yeah, Balthazar's just checking up on Porum, essentially. Hold on. And he just sort of sighs and will reach over to take Porum's hands in his and like give them a reassuring squeeze, essentially. Considering the looks on almost everyone's faces coming out of Madame Ava's, I think there's a lot we have to think on before there can be anything shared, but take your time on it, and if you ever need someone to talk to, I will, at the very least, lend you an open ear.
Thank you, Balthazar. Yeah, when I'm ready to talk about it, I'll come and find you. Like I said, I'm still trying to process everything that just happened.
Right.
We're all in kind of a shit show right now.
He gives like a very weary smile. True enough. I'll leave you to it then. Make sure you eat, alright?
I'll try. No promises, but
You'll-
I'll try.
He'll stand, give Porum's hands one last squeeze, and then, like, just pat him on the head. I know Jen doesn't want to RP, but he does check up on Penny just to make sure she's doing alright. If she wants to just sit and curl up a little bit, he'll leave her be, essentially.
Yeah, that's fine. Penny's fine.
Yeah.
I
And
get you.
he will give her a squeeze on the shoulder, and I believe if I recall last session correctly, Ophelia's busy, but Irina did also want shield practice.
That is true.
He'll approach her
Was not
for.
busy.
Were you not on your way to speak to Dahlia?
I mean, I just moved where my token was gonna go. That's all.
Huh? Trying to avoid.
Listen,
But he's making no secret of it. He is I can't remember who asked first, whether it was Ophelia or Irina.
I believe it was Ophelia that
Ophelia
asked first.
Yeah, if it was Ophelia who asked first, he will approach her if she doesn't look distracted or too busy.
no, she's just probably not like, trying to get drunk or anything, but she's just probably just had like a couple sips from like the wine bottle.
Yeah, I will say when you did return after talking to Harris, Dahlia has moved, and she's instead of sleeping up against sleeping in a tent, she is sort of sitting with her back to a tree and drinking away and sort of watching the camp from a distance.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Balthazar will approach Ophelia and will do a quick sort of glance to see how she is feeling. Like, just her immediate body language and facial expression.
I guess upon returning, she'd probably. It would almost just actually probably feel a little like like some weight has been like taken off of her shoulders. So it's
Okay.
not like as dour or serious. Like I wouldn't call her happy, but you know what I mean. Like
I don't think any of us are happy at this moment, so you know what? That's close enough.
yeah. I guess she isn't
Alright.
down.
Alright. He will approach her. Ophelia? How are you?
I'm just fine, Balthazar. How are you?
Contemplative, but I think these thoughts need to sit for a while longer before I can speak on them. You mentioned wanting to learn how to wield a shield, if I recall correctly, earlier in the day.
I did. I believe Biner bought some shields. 'Cause I think Irina also wanted to learn.
Figured, since this might be the safest we'll be until, well, potentially reaching, fuck, what's the name of the town?
Valaki!
This is Cosmic Brain in the works.
Nice.
But, it started with a V. What was it called?
Valaki.
Valaki. I knew it started with, it ended with an E at some point. My brain is slow. I'm sorry. Cosmic Brain is
Technically,
is
it
the size
ends
of
on
a
an
pea.
I.
Derek.
It'll be more than likely the safest will be until we reach Valaki. But would you like to at least start having some training done?
Yeah, I really would. It would, I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to wield it properly one day.
It takes some getting used to, especially the weight in your arm, but,
Oh, I'm sure.
oh. What is that supposed to mean? He
Oh, she's
gives her a
fucking.
tilt to the head.
She's a weak little noodle arms.
Right. Tiny baby arms. He will give her a nod. I'll go. I'm fairly certain I did see Biner getting a pair of shields. If you wanted to ask him for it, I'll go see if Irina is up for a quick lesson.
Sure.
Right.
And same thing, Chris. If you're not feeling up to it, we can just say I got the shields from you.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then
I'm doing
Ophelia's
much
gonna
better
go.
than you.
Okay. Ophelia's gonna go in, open up the tent, just sort of, hey, Biner, did you end up getting those shields?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You want to do some training right now?
If you want to join us, Balthazar was going to, I guess, lead me and Irina, but if you're tired...
No, I can. I was just getting some stuff together. I can come out and help you. It's on my
Can I
list of things I need to do.
Is there anything in particular that I can see when you say getting some stuff together? Is it drugs?
You basically see a list of just you probably can't read it unless you like stared at it because he's from where he's holding it, but you could tell he's been writing and crossing things off and like looks like he's trying to put things in a certain order or try to put all his thoughts together.
Okay.
So he'll stand up and he'll grab his shield and the shield that he purchased.
Well, alright. Let's go.
Actually, I don't remember, Derek. Did I buy 1 or 2 shields?
I think you bought 2 shields.
Okay, that's what I thought too. One
Yeah.
for Irina and one for Ophelia.
Yes. Excellent. As you're making your way out there, and Balthazar is about to talk to Irina, as y'all are making your way in that direction, we are going to go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break here. So we'll get back at 1 minute after the hour. And I will see y'all then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whee!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Weird Ventures. We're playing Curse of Strahd, and our party just finished getting some strange fortune readings done for them, and are having a couple conversations amongst themselves, winding down for the evening next to the Sur pool. So, with all of that being said, we're gonna switch the music actually, and we're gonna start with Ina, who went to their tent before we get back to the shield training. So Ina, you had a thing that you wanted to do in the tent.
Yes, despite Corey messaging me saying, Ina's beating it in the tent.
Oh my lord.
They're
That ritual fortune telling was so hot.
right.
God.
They're going to summon up from like below them.
Yes.
Block Shadow.
He rises forth and looks down at you.
Did you see the fortune?
I did.
Any thoughts on multiple use?
quiet for a moment. Seems more like symbolism than something based in reality.
Thinking of it too laterally.
Unless it is some new ability I've acquired that I'm not aware of.
Let's command shadows like that. That doesn't seem the physical you thing. It seems more current state you. Maybe. Your magic that you do, it's not what we taught in the circle, in the tribe. Where did you learn it?
What we learned in the tribe has served me poorly. I've learned on my own. Some was self-taught. Others I learned from the druids, the werewolf tribe that hails from here.
A wolf tribe that hails from here. How did they get out?
Strahd led them. They used to serve him, but he was a poor master. It was easy to spark the urge to betray.
Any of what you know teachable?
Much of it is the magic of druids. Are you skilled like that?
No. Just wizardry.
As with most magic, there is overlap.
Can you teach me where the overlap is?
I could attempt to.
Staring at the shadow, do I get a sense of direction where actual block is? Not asking for like distance, just like a general direction sense. Or is it still the same?
It'd be similar at the very least. I think it would be more directly to the west.
Okay.
But very far.
It's always so far. Over the mountains and through the woods. Nice. I think, yeah, no, I think that is all I wanted to ask him. Just that.
Oh yeah? I just checked and it would be very far directly west.
super west.
Yes. Very west.
And because you're so past tense to current, do you have any idea what you would be doing here?
Plotting the overthrow of Strahd. Converting those I can into more werekin. Perfecting the amalgam. So that more could become a part of my paradise.
Anna does look disgusted at the mention of the amalgam, and just the fact that it could take over the population really quickly. Of course. I think that is all for right now. Thank you.
Very well. It will slowly sink back down into shadows. Disappear. Into yours. As it has done.
With that, Ina's just kind of gonna square their shoulders back and just walk out to watch the others with their shield stuff.
Right. Very nice. In that case, we will now hop over to Balthazar and Irina.
Balthazar.
Yeah, Balthazar.
Oh, Balthazar.
I have to take Balthazar when my tummy feels bad. But yeah, as you approach Irina, she looks a little bit pensive as she's been kind of looking through between all of you, and as you approach, you're like, "Hey, Balthazar, y'all all doing okay? You seem pretty shaken, I guess."
I can't speak for the rest, but I, at the very least, am fine. I think nearly all of our fortunes that Madame Ava gave us were heavy, to say the least. Some more than others, and he sort of glances over to, considering how he probably would have seen their expressions as they came out, more specifically to Porum, Penny, and Ina. Porum especially.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just need time to think it through. But in the meanwhile, you said you'd wanted to learn how to wield a shield, yes?
Yes, that'd be great.
He will smile, and if she's sitting down, he'll hold out a hand to help her up.
Yeah, and as you do that, that'll be right around the time that Ophelia and Biner are approaching. Biner holding them two shields for him.
He'll hand one over to Ophelia and one to Irina.
Thanks.
And say, "Do you want to start the training, Balthazar?"
I can try. Like I mentioned, it's been a while since... It's been a little while since I've wielded a shield, and even longer since when I first trained with one, but I think I can still remember some of the lessons that were ingrained to us when we were younger.
Take whatever you can give me.
He'll nod and look to Ophelia as well. And essentially, first thing he's just gonna go over is how to properly strap the shield.
Yeah.
and like how to carry its weight. It... Yeah, no, that is the first thing he's doing, and making sure they have the buckles
Mm-hmm.
secure on their arm, tight but not too tight that it essentially cuts off circulation. Before moving on to how to move with it, essentially,
Yeah.
like maintaining their dexterity while also still like wielding it.
Absolutely.
He's doing it step by step, essentially, and like taking the time, making sure to answer any questions that they have, and like essentially demonstrating it with the fancy quote unquote new shield that he got as well.
Excellent. All right. In that case, as you're doing that, Biner, are you doing anything to help out in this training?
So at first he starts watching, and Balthazar is doing it correctly, right? Walking through the right way to do it, but you can see that Binur's slowly getting more impatient, like he's going too slow.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while he'll butt in and do this or that, and then but basically he'll after he kind of does some of the here's how you balance and this, and he's like, look, they need to be more advanced at this point already, so make sure you hold your shield like this, and with your offhand make sure you have the proper weapon, hold your weapon, and he starts trying to go a little probably faster than these two are ready for.
Yeah.
And then he's like, in the worst case, the worst, especially if you're going up against a male, if you do it just right, you bring that shield straight up from underneath, hit him between the legs, he'll go bend over real quick, slice that sword right into his head. It's over.
Oh, that's
Any
great.
questions?
Yes. Can we practice on you, Biner?
You could
Gives a
try.
little grin. I've seen you fight. I'd actually be surprised if it did much. You're very thick-skinned. It was a bit of a joke though, but yeah. So as you're doing this, and like, how is Ophelia reacting to all this instruction? I must ask.
Oh, it's no big deal. I should say, like, listening to the instruction and following it, just doesn't really phase her. Even with Biner, kind of like trying to like push
Speed
them into
running.
like the high gear. Yeah.
Yeah. Is she able to lift the shield?
I don't know, Derek. You want me to roll for that?
No. I was just curious if you wanted to describe if
I'd
she
like-
struggles with it.
Yeah, it would definitely be like a struggle. It's something that she is clearly not ever, held. Like, she understands exactly what is being said to her, but it still will just take time to get her just feel effectively balanced with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seeing that, Derek,
Mm-hmm.
seeing that, he'll realize he gave the wrong shield to each other. So he'll walk over to Irina and take the smaller shield, the buckler type shield,
Mm-hmm.
and give that to Ophelia, and then give the slightly larger, heavier one to Irina, and just say to Ophelia, this one, size doesn't matter, Ophelia. It's how you use it. So you'll find this will work just as effectively as something bigger if you know how to handle it.
I mean, it
And then
already
he'll
feels
talk
like it's
about
not weighing down my arm as bad.
Balthazar, I don't know how to strap this one on. Can you help me?
Here, and Balthazar will help, but is like essentially just like helping instruct her and like,
Yeah.
making sure it's tightened, but like having her do it so she gets used to the movements.
Sounds good. In that case...
Yeah. But
Oh, yes.
Oh.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, well, once they've moved on from actually learning how to do it, if he's going into stances and making sure they have like the way they're holding up the shield when they're trying to block something
Mm-hmm.
essentially proper, and is to make sure that Biner feels that they're going fast enough. He's gonna have Biner like use his staff to try and like hit onto the shield, so he's like trying to get them used to spreading their stance, getting like a proper what would it be, like evenly distributing their own
Yeah.
weight on their feet essentially, so they stay on like they stay on their feet even after a hit.
Sounds great. So, yeah, I'm assuming Biner, you're okay with being the shillelagh smacking man.
Oh yeah, he's fine with that.
Excellent. In that case,
Kind of jump back and forth between the two of them, smack and try to catch them off guard, things like that.
excellent. In that case, I would like.
Balthazar is going between them in the meanwhile to correct their stances as that's happening.
Excellent. I would like the two of you as the instructors, because we are going to do a roll to see how well things are learned. I'm going to need each of you to choose the student that you focus the most on. You could focus both on one person and leave somebody out too, if you want. It's not that you don't train with them at all, it just means that they may not learn this time around.
It's just going from how. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, just considering how it got split, I can see Biner with Ophelia and Balthazar's giving Arena more attention.
Very nice. In that case, from the instructing style you've described, Balthazar, you can choose to roll a persuasion, acrobatics for like the stance, or a sleight of hand for the arm movement to try and teach. And for Biner and Ophelia, I would say you would probably be rolling just an insight to see if you're good at like picking up what Biner is putting down. And Biner, I'd say from your descriptions you could do a persuasion, or maybe it'd be very interesting this time. It would be athletics, but when you click on athletics, it does let you change the stat you use. So we'll say athletics with wisdom, because you're using shillelagh to like get the smacks in where they're supposed to be for this one. So yeah, with those rolls decided, make your rolls when you're ready, and we'll see if folks begin learning. It's pretty good.
Hey, not
Oh no!
Oh,
They're trying.
Balthazar's youth is coming into play.
So y'all can tell me if you want to add your own personal touches for this, but I like the idea that Ophelia keeps lifting her shield up just like a little bit too slow, and Biner, being in the hurry that he is, just keeps on like lightly bonking her on the head and is like, why aren't you faster? And then Ophelia tries to do it faster, but Biner slows down to try and accommodate for that, and then bonks her on the head again with the delayed thing, and it's not working for those two. Of course, if you have your own personal touches to how you think that'd go down, you're more than likely to add them, but unfortunately, I don't think too much learning is going to be going on with Ophelia and Biner today.
Oh, poor Ophelia.
They're trying. But it's the first day of training. Improvement can happen.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Balthazar, you are doing quite well with your persuasion. Is there anything you'd like to describe with your teaching style now that you've rolled this nice 18.
His to those who are paying attention, his teaching style is definitely like, this is essentially class, like one-on-one, but class learning,
Mm-hmm.
like student mentor type shit. This is unlocked what is essentially an old memory of his as he sort of steps back into that role of when he was like in his later teens, essentially helping the younger students in the order with their own shield stances, and that is essentially how he is treating Irina as like another younger student to help out. He's very clear on his teaching style, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not harsh, but it's not necessarily gentle either. He's like doing the small taps to elbow or to her legs with like a little light kick of his foot to like make sure she's properly spreading her stance, properly has her arm up and stable in position before he he's probably using his or at least the short sword that he'd taken off of Silverane.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still in the sheath, but that's what he's using to like essentially help her in similar fashion to how Viner had been whacking at Ophelia.
Excellent.
He's making sure to give her plenty of like praise as well when she has something right, and is quick to correct her if she does something wrong.
Excellent. Your teaching is going very well. She is on her way to mastering the shield, but isn't quite there yet. It might take another day or so of training. She doesn't get the benefit of using a shield because she's not yet proficient in it while she has a shield. But she does learn how to, at the very least, do something with her shield. And in the process of her learning how to do it, you learn how to do it too. So what is learned is this.
Ooh.
She can do a shove against someone within 5 feet of her. And you gain that ability too from teaching her, as you yourself learn a little bit more through the act of teaching. Yeah, she's making progress. She's got a lot more to go, but you know, it's at the very least it's something. A little incremental increase. Not quite as used to this as she seemed to take to Penny's roguish teaching style, but she's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all are, doing a nice little mock combat to practice these shields, and Aina, you're going to probably see quite a few of the other Vistani, maybe even Harris, walking up to watch as well, cheering on the battle. They maybe are like a little bit too drunk to actually realize it's training to learn how to use a shield. They're just like, yeah, fuck her up. When Biner smacks Ophelia on the head every once in a while, things like that. Definitely not helping. Is Aina doing anything as Aina watches? Or just...
Seeing that there's not a lot of learning to be had between both of them, they're definitely gonna be, throwing out little presentation, just light appearing whenever like Ophelia gets hit. There's gonna be like a little light source for a second.
Oh no.
Just yes. I guess the best equivalent I can think of is when you play laser tag and like when you hit someone it just bleeps for a little bit.
Oh my god. You're censoring the curses.
Yup. Just hitting them home.
Oh. So yeah. About, a couple of hours pass. And eventually y'all are all exhausted. Some of you learned, some of you didn't as much, but this sort of training, it takes a while. It takes a while sometimes. But yeah. It's been a long day of walking. And now a few hours of training, and it might be time for a sit down.
Who's sleeping where?
Who is sleeping where?
Well, I guess before we establish the who's sleeping in which tent, I was gonna have Ismark go and talk to Porum by the water for a little bit, so we'll do that. We'll do that first, and of course, if anybody else has any conversations they want to have with anybody before you all sleep, this is a good time to think on that too, and to think on who you'd want to sleep with, or who you want to tend with. But yes, who you wanna share
Bunk
a
with.
tent with? Yes,
I'll check a bow wow.
but
We do have the extra tent somebody has for Ismark and Irina too.
yes,
So they're not out in the cold.
yes. But if you want to be like, hey, I want to do a sleepover with you, Irina. You sound cool, so you can do some like one-on-one with them in private or anything like that. You're welcome to pitch that out. They don't have to share a tent necessarily, but anyways, Ismark is gonna approach Porum by the water. What is Porum looking like?
I'm kidding. Porum's he's just, staring at the water, just taking in the sights, just trying to clear his mind. Maybe
Yeah.
tossing a few stones here and there.
I'll say before Ismark walks up to you, one of the horses does gently trot over and starts drinking from the water nearby you. It's a white horse with a black mane.
Porum will just, I'm having to, think of the size difference because Porum's super tiny compared to this horse.
It's true. It's terrifying. It could trample you to
he's-
death at any moment.
He's just gonna pat it on the leg. I believe Porum would be maybe calf height, maybe ankle height. I think ankle
Mhm.
height's more appropriate.
Yeah. It does like a little whinny before going back to drink water. Ismark will walk up, just be like, he seems to like you.
Hey, it's Mark. Didn't hear you walking up.
Yeah, I've, well, I'm surprised you didn't. He says, and he kind of tinks some of the armor he's got on, but I don't blame you. You look maybe a little lost in your thoughts. You doing okay?
I mean, it was okay as anybody else, in this land.
Yeah. You've had an extra rough day today compared to most people in this land, even, I think. Say, take a seat down next to you. It's worth me checking it, at least.
Well, thank you for checking in. It's been a day.
Certainly has. I'm sorry about having to see something using your mom's face like that. It's not right.
Well, at least we got rid of it, so we can't do it again to anybody else. But
Yeah.
I'll get over it eventually.
Well, I'm not the best at these things, but back when my mom was around, she used to say, talking things out can help. I guess I wanted to offer my ear if you wanted it. If not, well, maybe say what's on your mind to that horse. He won't tell nobody.
I mean, it's just... What else is there to talk about? This place is kind of fucked up. And, it's kind of gotten to me. And the vision that I had to see didn't help either.
Do you want to talk about that?
I do, but I'm also still trying to make sense of everything that happened in the vision.
I understand.
I might need to sleep on it first before I start sharing things with people.
Oh.
That way I've had some time to think about it and think it through.
Totally. Take all the time you need. Irina went in to see if she was supposed to get a vision while y'all were deciding who should be next, and she got told no, which is kind of interesting. So, well, the way she was told no was interesting. It made me feel like if we saw what the vision was, we really, really wouldn't like it. So I guess part of me is a little curious about the terrible things you saw, because now I'm like, what if it's even worse? But I also understand needing that time to process. I didn't mean to pressure you.
No, you're totally fine. But you don't think that the very adamant no, do you think maybe it could have had some sort of connection or reasoning behind it as to... I can't talk, Jesus Christ. My brain go burr.
It's been a long night, poor.
Basically, you don't think it has to do with the fact that your sister has a really personal connection to Strahd?
Well, that's yeah. The words Madame Ava used were, it probably wouldn't help, so no. So that's pretty much where my mind went.
Well, as much as getting a vision sounds, getting your portrait sounds interesting, it might be for the best, to be honest.
You might just be right. But listen, can I get you anything? Do you need a drink or anything? Just, you're all by yourself out here. Worry about you. You just need some you time. That's totally cool too.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now, drink-wise. I might be heading to bed here soon. I just want to clear my head for a little bit.
Well, I'm not good drink-wise, so I'm gonna go get blasted. And he'll lift
I
himself
support
up and start making his way back towards the camp for that.
I support you and your choices.
I probably won't in the morning.
That's something to worry about in the morning.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that being said, what is the tent arrangement for tonight? Or does anyone else have anything they would like to do before y'all hit the sack?
Well, Bonnieur's gonna go to the same tent he was in since he left all the stuff there.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think he'll just, as he's passing by, he'll pick up a passed out Penny by the fire, probably from a sugar overdose from all the pastries she was eating. And just
The one she
carry
shoved
her
down her
into,
throat.
yeah, and just carry her in there and put her to bed, and he'll crawl and go to sleep too.
All right.
Yeah. If anything, this was discussed out of character, but there were things that Aina and Balthazar were probably had to discuss with each other, so they'd end up sharing a room, a tent essentially. So it would be Ophelia and Porum in a room, a tent. Why do I always go to room immediately?
It's what the mind's used to.
Probably.
All right. Balthazar and Aina will do a discuss.
I was
I will
afraid
say,
with
yeah.
I plan to.
Okay. Well, then that does only leave the one tent left. So, Porum, do you want to bunk with Ophelia, or did you want to bunk with Ismark or Irina?
You can bunk with Ophelia.
All right. Very nice.
Transform.
We'll see if Ophelia arrives to the bunk or not. But
She might be bunking elsewhere.
I'm sorry. But Ophelia, you do get a call out after the training is done and Biner makes his way back. Dolly is just like, you did great.
Oh, I'm sure you enjoyed watching me get my ass kicked.
I did. You don't have to. I definitely did. She says she takes another swig from the bottle she's got.
Well, I live to entertain, apparently.
Oh, there's plenty of more reasons for living, I like to imagine, she says as she takes her shovel and sort of rests it on her shoulders and lets her arms kind of drape over it as she leans against the trunk of the tree.
Is your reason for that just coming up on the hill, leaning against a tree and brooding over the campsite?
I wouldn't say I'm brooding so much as I'm watching from a distance, so that way that doesn't happen to me. And she tilts her chin a little bit, and as she does, you see Ismark and Harris, both of them have an arm over the other's shoulder, and they are doing what you did just outside the inn, into a couple of buckets. Don't have to smell it from over here, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Actually, I don't have to imagine.
Yeah, I don't have to either. You'd say with a shit-eating grin.
Thanks for that.
Of course. Did you have a nice talk with Harris?
Oh, yes, I, wooed him with my feminine wiles.
Hey,
No.
I wouldn't blame him if he was a little wooed. Though he does have terrible luck with women.
Ophelia kind of laugh. He actually went through that with me.
Well, he's a
I feel
very
sorry.
honest guy. So.
Yeah. I feel real sorry. That's just some... I don't know. I find it almost cosmically hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel sorry for him, but also, that is one of the times where again I say, I don't give too much credence to fortune or the fates, but yeah, that's pretty locked in, I think.
That's that's fair. So, how did you even, I guess, wind up with the Vistani?
Well, I mean, it's one of the safest places to camp in Barovia, Strahd won't mess with you. And I was out here searching for Gertruda, but I'm pretty sure I know where she's at, unfortunately.
I also know where she's at.
She blinks a couple of times, turns to you. How's that?
Um, you know, I see no reason to lie to you about it. Um, I decided to do something foolish.
Huh?
Offer my, I don't know what you would call it. Offer myself to, do an act for... I cannot think of the words here. Offer myself to do some sort of act for my patron in order for them to tell me where she was.
Uh-huh.
She's with Strahd, or at least in Strahd's castle. I feel like that's what you were about to say.
Yeah. What did you offer to do for your patron?
Uh, uh, I suppose anything.
Alien. No. You didn't actually say anything, did you?
I wish I didn't.
She just sort of takes a hand and uses her fingers to gently rub her forehead. That's that's really bad, Ophelia.
Yeah, I've thought about walking into the lake to drown myself, but gills.
Yeah. And you don't have to even roll an insight for it to notice this. The general good mood on her face has gone down quite significantly. She's looking quite a bit more dour with this news.
Right.
This
Well,
is not a place that you want. You want to owe people favors, Ophelia. I really appreciate you doing that to help find Gertruda, but it's not worth anything. Is your patron outside of the mists?
No.
It's like a second blow. As once again, she just rubs her forehead slightly and closes her eyes. It's just like, oh no. That's it's a lot. To owe somebody anything. Are you doing okay?
No. Honestly, I'm not, because as much as you won't like to hear it, in my mind, I thought I was sort of throwing myself away. I don't care much for what happens to me on this journey. And it wasn't until a day ago where it washed over me that it's not just me I'm affecting.
Yeah, no. Something with a hold on you like that. Anything could mean so many things, so many awful things. To a lot of people, anyone. She breathes out of her nose slightly and looks towards the water. I You can roll an insight if you like. It's that way.
I will do my best. It's kind of mediocre. Well. Oh boy.
Yeah. You are entirely unable to read her expression. Aside from concerned, but that's pretty obvious just from the way she's been talking.
Can I change the subject for a moment?
Yeah, that might be good.
I think when we last talked outside the bar, sounded like you had a lot of knowledge of Strahd. And given that I had talked to Doru, I'm curious if you happen to know who Seraphina is?
Seraphina? You say that. She thinks on it for a moment. Is that supposed to be someone up at the castle or something?
Can I insight check that?
Absolutely.
Ugh, of course.
Unreadable.
From what I was told, they were referred to as... God, what was it? The Black Witch? The daughter of Strahd?
Oh. Heard about the Black Witch before. She, well, it's a town ways from here called Berez. Used to be the capital of the elves that ruled these lands before Strahd conquered it. And, well, a while after he turned into a vampire, they did something to piss him off. The Black Witch came, and that place is in ruins now. There's only a handful of elves left.
Madam Ava had said as much the Dusk Elves, correct?
Yeah. So,
Have you ever come across them?
I've worked with them once or twice before. Though not too often. I don't really like Velaki too much, so got
Yeah.
another guy up there I sort of let handle things.
I guess, who do you let handle things up in Velaki?
She's quiet for a moment. That is, sorry to say that. That is info that will have to cost you. They don't like the Graveseekers very much in Velaki, so I have to be pretty careful who I give that info out to make sure we get at least something in return for handing it out.
Is there something I could do in return? Not anything?
Yeah, definitely not anything. Hope you don't think I'm too nosy telling you this, but I first met y'all, I did do a little bit of a look over on you. And notice there was this scroll case that y'all had. Very interesting looking scroll case. The words, the sacred brews of Kundrakar on it.
Yeah. We came across that when we were in the Citadel, before coming here.
Well, if you're willing to trade that to me, I can hook you up.
Okay, out of game question. Did Ina translate that for Penny? 'Cause it was
Yes.
in Dwarvish, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so we
We
have like
have-
a common text.
Mhm.
Um,
Who knows? If
Can
the,
you-
the scroll case was like supposed to be worth money too.
mm, I mean, it's not like we're necessarily hurting for gold, but
Yeah.
no. I'm just curious.
Close.
Can you even that scroll is in Dwarvish? Can you even read that?
Yep. I mean, that's how I read the front of the case.
You know, somehow that checks out. I I feel like I would have to just at least out of courtesy ask the others. It's not like I found it.
She nod her head. That's okay.
So,
Contrary to popular belief, I don't just steal things off people unless they're dead, so.
I didn't. You didn't strike me as the type.
She gives a small grin to that, but it is a small one. She's still pretty deep in thought.
So, exactly why don't you like Valaki?
They don't like us very much, for starters. Noble family there needed our help finding somebody at one point and didn't like our price.
Just that's it? Just a price discrepancy?
Yep.
But why would that stop you from doing any business or you going there personally?
Well, the burgomaster puts a bunch of wanted signs with you and your friends' faces on them. You have to be sneaky about things, and if something were to happen to me, well, I'm in charge, so I'd be leaving all the people who look up to me on their own.
Over just a price discrepancy just doesn't.
Well, you don't know our usual contract.
That's true, I don't. I get the feeling that you don't want to tell me.
I could tell you if you want, but a lot of people don't like it. So part of me's a little worried, I guess. But I mean, you told me that you gave anything to your patron, and that is a very big deal, so I guess I could tell you if you like. So usually I save it until someone's hiring me to do something like Mary did.
I suppose I'd like to know. It might help me fill make sense of the disconnect I'm having where it's just price.
Somebody wants to find somebody who's lost to them. The contract that we make is essentially, in return for us finding them, we get to have something of our choice. She points a finger at you, that you own. So, if you're a noble, That could be quite a lot.
I get that, but did you already decide on something?
We get to make the decision after the contract is done.
So, just because that they didn't like just that, they put wanted posters on you.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind
Alright,
of family the Vlakoviches are. You can incite if you want.
I kind of do.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me, like the player, just kind of like not piecing it together, but I'm just like, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess better.
Feels like she's telling the truth.
Okay.
I will say with your insight, you are starting to think of like, it could be your house.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, the deed to all of your lands. It could be anything in your possession. So if you're someone who's quite wealthy who has big things in your possession, it's like, all right, we'll go find your missing person. In return, you give us your house, or you give us, your position as the burgomaster, or, it's very similar to the situation you're in. Of, it could be anything. A little more specific, because they're not necessarily using magic to enforce it, but anything is a big cost. And if somebody is quite greedy and doesn't want to lose that, could be bad. You got a 16. Give me 1 second. I'll let you also roll history.
Okay.
There we go. So, knowing your background, your personal background, you can infer a few things for this. It might not be the fact that the deal wasn't made. It might be more of the fact that the deal was made, she delivered, and then the noble was like, I'll put up wanted posters so I don't have to pay. Because power corrupts a lot of times, and yeah. So the bad blood might run a little bit deeper than she's letting on.
Okay.
Just from your own knowledge of how things may work.
I gotcha. That... when I was in the Graveseeker house, you said I looked like... I can't remember the exact words, but either like a lady of class or a lady who had money.
Mm-hmm.
You were right.
Usually am about these things.
Oh, well, fantastic for you. No, Strahd charmed me. We encountered him in the graveyard. And...
I'm so sorry.
yeah, I harmed Bismarck. And... essentially just revealed that I am, and I hope you don't take offense to it, but I'm also a noble.
No, I don't take offense to that. Get me wrong. She kind of glances towards the fire again where Ismark and Irina are. There are good nobles out there, that's for sure, but the ones who are bad are really bad.
Yeah.
And usually in the majority. glances up towards the silhouette of the castle in the distance.
Yeah, I know. It's probably a lot. Probably an overreaction on my part, but first-hand experience of having, I guess, my own autonomy just not completely taken away, but altered.
Yeah, I told your friend Ina there's a reason people are nervous about that. Doesn't feel very good.
No. You might think, again, I'm foolhardy, or...
Oh, I do, but I don't hold it against you.
Yeah, I know, it's this wonderful face, right?
Yeah.
Thanks. I think I kind of want to actually... I haven't particularly said this out loud. I think I kind of want to actually kill Strahd.
A lot of people who come here do. A lot of people who live here do. Saying you want to do something and doing it, or... Well, there's a whole lot of work that goes in between one and the other.
Yeah. The only lead that I know of is lighting a beacon, and I think Ismark said I can't find the fort name. I think it was like a fort in my notes, Derek.
Yes, Argenvost Holt.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that place is, interesting.
Anything you can offer up for free?
Sadly, knowledge is power is money.
How dangerous is it?
You ready for a fight? And, be on your best behavior, I guess.
You know, part of me wishes I was a lot more careless with coin.
Well, that doesn't make you different from most nobles.
If it was just me, I couldn't say that I wouldn't just shower you with it to know, but... I mean, it's just not... Obviously, it's just not my money. It's all of ours. And... I don't know. It doesn't feel right for me to just spend anything without consulting them. Unless it's of my own personal coin that I pick up.
Well, I was planning on vanishing from the camp tonight, but I have a reason for staying until you ask about that, the contents of that scroll case. So, if you want to ask him about that while you're at it, you can. If not, that's definitely your decision to make, Ophelia.
I just don't think the whole party would even see it the same way as I do. I think, and rightfully so, everyone just wants to get out.
Well, Don't blame me on that one.
Yeah.
Supposedly, folks have managed to knock down the mist wall for a little bit at one point by killing Strahd, even though he came back. So maybe if y'all work together, you can do it. That'd be nice.
I take it if we ever got to a point, and I know I'm just talking out of my ass right now, that we could do it. Would I be able to call on you?
No. Because if it
That just
doesn't,
sort of like stings.
Because if it doesn't work, then me and everyone who works for me dead. People who put their trust in me dead, and not just dead, but dead in a horrible and horrific way.
I suppose fear is a powerful motivator.
Call it more of a motherly instinct. I can't just think about me and what I'd like to do. I've done that once before, and not again.
Well, I suppose if you're gonna stay and not vanish into the night, I'll ask about the scroll. How much for the information on the hold?
Just grab whatever you're willing to give, and I'll give you information of equal value to the amount you offer up.
What would be the price for all of your information?
500?
God. All right. I'll have to think about it.
Okay. In case, I think I'm gonna go for a little walk.
Yeah.
She will use her shovel to help her up, go off, and have that walk. As she does that, Balthazar and Ina, did you have anything y'all wanted to talk to each other about?
Yeah. Did you want to start, hun?
Yeah. Well, before the talk, considering the day's exertion, Balthazar would have probably, during the time of Ophelia and Dahlia having their talk, would have found like as secluded an area around the river as possible from where the camp is, and just done a like quick wipe down of himself just to clean up. Not a full bath, but just clean himself up, get the sweat and grime off of him, and comes back at least feeling a little more relaxed and fresher than he had been the most of the evening. And ducks into the room as quietly as he can. If I recall correctly, he has not undone the braid that got sneakily put into his hair that morning. Or during the last evening that they had.
Yeah.
What what is Aina looking like when he comes inside?
Ina's just kind of like staring down, but at the candlelight, down at a book, at their notebook, just writing. And then you just see them basically tear the paper up. Not up, but like out of the book and fold it and just kind of like seal it with the wax. Did you have a good swim?
I wouldn't have called that a swim, but I feel less like I trudged through an entire swamp. What is that for? And he points at the letter.
It is for our esteemed Lord. We're gonna have to reply to him eventually. And figured it'd either send it tonight or tomorrow. When we get at the crossroads, like right near his place. Can't keep someone like that waiting.
Oh, no, we can't. His face kind of does like a small twitch at Strahd being referred to as Lord, but also it's just like, you're not wrong.
How dare you be polite and use their titles?
Also, Balthazar is extremely polite, but also it's just the ick factor. There is a knife hidden in that politeness.
Understandable.
He takes a seat onto one bed mats, slightly toying with the ends of his hair. He
What was your fortune? Your fate?
Oh, it's just straight up asks it.
Oh yeah, not a got punched.
Yeah. I cut you off, so continue. I'm sorry.
Your fates, what Madame has said to you. Everyone came out looking worse for wear, so I don't think anyone got what they were hoping for.
No, but he'll reach into his outer shirt and pull out the card and sort of twirl it in his hand a little bit. His eyes kind of go from Aina to their shadow before he holds out the card and shows the bishop.
When Balthazar is pulling out the card, Ina's going to pull from an inner pocket the beast card and just exchange it so he could get a closer look at the bishop.
Yeah. It was... I don't think it was quite as haunting as what seemed like Penny and Porum had gone through, but It brought to mind some thoughts I had, and brought to question many things, honestly. I'm still not entirely sure what of it.
Feel the same about my card. My fate, as it will. Maybe it was my fate. Maybe it was just something I'm going to see. It's heavy in symbolism.
I'm not entirely sure if mine was entirely symbolism, if I'm to be honest. It seemed almost too literal.
Oh?
He runs his hand over the beast, or runs his thumb over the image of the beast. What did you see in your vision? He hands the card back.
I saw flames in a city. There was a man whose his head melded with a donkey dancing. He had a staff. The flames casted shadows. The shadows weren't shadows. They were. And Ina's just gonna glance down at his own shadow, not saying anything. There of him.
Were the shadows just cast from the ruined city, or were they coming from the beast, so to speak?
Eric, were they cast from just the city itself or the beast? Because when you were talking about it, you just said flames cast shadows.
Yeah. So some of them were from the beast, some of them were from, objects that make up the cityscape. Flames flicker. All the various objects would create their own shadows, and those all twisted into mirrors of block.
Everything that could cast a shadow did.
He kind of bites his lip and has a thoughtful expression. Perhaps it is simply consequence of his own. He shakes his head. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking out of my own. I'm talking nonsense, but
But
he frowns and looks down at his hands real quick. It was you I saw. I'm gonna look up at Ina. You and it was Shadow Balak specifically, right?
Yep.
Or was it Balak himself?
it was Block Shadow, but maybe the symbolism meant Block himself. It's hard to say.
That's true. Well, Balthazar never actually laid eyes on Balak is the thing,
Well,
huh?
that's true.
That's right, you were in the other room.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
got trapped. It was you and Balak's shadow. Or maybe it was him. It was Balak himself, but I'd never actually gotten to look at the man, but it was the two of you playing a game of chess. I couldn't pay attention to see who was winning or not, but there was a third on the board. Some unknown player that neither of you would acknowledge or seem to even notice. And it seemed as though they were slowly going towards you. I don't know what it could be, but it worries me. Far more, perhaps just as much as that does, and he nods towards the shadow.
I understand your concern. And Ina does have like a weird, not guilty look to him, but just kind of remorseful when you mentioned the chess between the two. Both Block and I were raised for, I guess the lightest way I can put it is manipulation tactics. That just sounds bad. We're trained to rearrange things in ways that would benefit us. And it's... I think we're trying to out-manipulate each other at this point. Maybe. Or maybe I'll come to that we're just trying to take each other out while not noticing what's going on. But I think it's... I don't think the shadow's the problem yet.
You think it could be?
It's an asset as of right now for location on him, but also it is a source of information. It can teach druidic magic or overlapping magic at least. There's... Just today I learned basically how, not as of right now, the original plan for Block taking over from Strahd, which involved werewolves. They were acquainted with we saw the one. There's a whole pack here, and they plan to just spread it along with the amalgamation of odd people, in a sense. It's still useful. It's just not concurrent to present events, sadly.
Balthazar goes just a little pale at the mention of the fact that the amalgamation thing is being spread. It's like brows pushed together.
Yeah, that is. It's not one of the things I was happy to hear either.
I'd say we should even be surprised considering what Silverane had tried to offer before we had to fight him. Or at least me and Penny and Ophelia had to fight him. But you are right. I think for the time being that Shadow is the least of our worries, but he's just gonna look at Aina. What I'm concerned about is the third player. Someone seems to be targeting you. I don't know who. Madame Ava wasn't able to get a clear picture of who it could have been, but I have my theories, at least.
I just... The only person I can think of is... And I just kind of look at the tent wall where they know the castle is looming in the distance.
Well, it always is.
Yep. Never goes away.
Strahd. Yeah.
I mean, I'm already acting as a quote-unquote informant, although he hasn't come to collect information, so that's good. At the same time, to not be able to listen to you guys discuss is going to be a thing in the future.
It's certainly going to be something, at least. There's just the slightest bit of guilt sort of creeping into his expression. That role, he'd meant to give it to me. What? Why did you have to step in like that? You didn't need to.
Might have had a moment of madness, but honestly, you've been putting quite a lot on your shoulders. Same with Ophelia and everyone. What is one more burden on mine?
I'm fairly certain the same could have been said for all of us. For me, especially. What was one more? There.
To be fair, you have a habit of making sure that you're not always alright. Especially in battle. From a standpoint of Strahd, what use of you would have been if you would have kept going down?
My brain didn't register that last bit. What was that?
So basically what Ina said, is saying, like, from a standpoint of Strahd's, like, what real use of you would have been, because you constantly don't heal yourself in battle, kind of thing. Or this way, like, everyone's priority is, like, Ina half the time to keep him up. And Ina was using that to their advantage.
The brows kind of pushed together a little bit more. Would it not have been... Would it not have made more sense if I had taken it then?
Quite like you standing up, just so you know. Fully breathing.
Don't like Balthazar planted in a garden?
I'm sure they would make lovely flowers eventually, but...
He'd make for delicious tea.
I'm being quite honest. I don't think I will be able to go back to my tribe at the end of this. And I saw it in that moment. That's why I stood up. There's a tick in Anna's jaw.
Could I insight just to get a better read on that?
Sure.
I
Laughing my
wanna
ass
know.
off.
Insight.
Oh.
Huzzah!
They're lying.
They're lying about going back to their tribe? Not being able to go back to their tribe, or...
They're lying about, that was the reason why they stood up. And took it. Like, there's some hint to the truth that back of their mind, yeah, they probably, like, are using that as an excuse, but they're lying about, like, one of the main reasons why they did it.
So they're kind of frowns. That's not all, is it?
It isn't. Did you know, seeing somebody in the mist that you just haven't saw in so long, it really sets you back, and how your emotional state was getting better and you were doing better and you were thinking about just finally going forward, and then you're just shoved back to the ground. I took it Because I could see the usefulness in failing.
Hmm. Balthazar's gonna reach out and hesitantly put his hand over Ina's and squeezes. I think I can understand at least a fraction of it.
Yes. Well, everybody has their own reasons. You're a good person, Balthazar.
He Balthazar looks like he doesn't know how to take that quite well. Like he's hesitant to even agree or even think that of himself.
Yeah. It's written out there. You heal, you protect with your order. And the makings of a good person. And everyone in this group is a good person. Well, maybe not Biner. I've seen him eat. It's a little concerning.
Rude.
I won't disagree with you there, at the very least. There is at least some good in a lot of us. He will pause and then give Ina a nudge as well.
Oh no,
There is
don't
some
include
in you
me.
as well.
Don't include me there. I'm not young anymore. I don't think I can be classified as good by your people's standards. I lie, I deceit, I plan, I plot. I don't know a good person that does that.
I can think of a few, quite honestly. Shrewdness does not immediately mean evil.
I wouldn't say evil necessarily. It's That was a bit extreme.
I suppose that's fair, but it does not immediately mean that you're not good, at the very least.
This is a seesaw motion.
Kind of just huffs a little. What I mean is, you can scheme, you can plan, and you can manipulate in order to protect in order to protect people as well. And from what you've mentioned, it's been to protect your tribe. Goodness isn't an exact thing. But he pauses for a moment. I take this with a grain of salt if you must, but I would just hope, at the very least, that when you're scheming and manipulating and planning whatever goes on in that head of yours, that you not forget we're here to help you as well. Try not to get too lost in your thoughts.
I'm just gonna bow their head and just acknowledgement. I thank you for your sagely advice. And do not worry. It's not the group I'm manipulating. Not anymore. It's making sure we keep going and get out of this alive at this point.
Balthazar's gonna just look away and nod.
Say that the two of y'all will be heading to sleep shortly after.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that connection though.
What?
Jesus.
The connection did some weird things to that. Some awfully strange things to that.
What did it do?
Great.
It extended your
It did.
So, like, for a while.
Yes.
Well then.
I think I'm going to save Biner and Penny's tent for the start of next week, just so that way I can double check with Jen to see if she wants to do the whistle or not. But we will have Ophelia if you want to return to the tent with Porum. I don't know if y'all want to do anything before you go to sleep. Have
You
any
know,
conversation.
I suppose she'd just sort of stay by the tree for a little bit and then yeah, she'll make her way back. But I don't have anything, at least at the moment, that I would
Okay.
talk about. So we could save it for next week too.
Did you have anything, Migs? Do we have a Migs?
I think they BRB'd a while ago and just never came back.
Oh,
They are muted right now.
Yeah, he BRB'd before me and has not returned.
interesting. Okay.
Shameful.
Well, in that case, since I love doing a little cliffhanger, Ophelia, you're gonna head to sleep at some point, I imagine.
I don't know. No, I don't know about that.
No, are you staying awake the whole night?
I don't think so.
You staying awake the whole night?
Yeah, I'll stay awake for 6 straight days.
6 straight
God.
days? Till you die of exhaustion?
Yep.
Oh, alright. Well,
No, Derek, I will go to sleep.
alright. As you sleep, of course, your mind will wander, and you will dream. And in Ophelia's dream, you would see the familiar dark, though you wouldn't feel yourself within it. Instead, you would see something else, something that is you, but separate from you, wandering the dark on all fours.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Faint green light on its forehead as it moves through. It calls out into the darkness. Zuden. Zuden. She can make a deal. I want one too.
Oh, fuck.
The eye opens.
What do you offer? What do you desire?
I want out. I want to be free.
It is done.
And it is at that moment that the eye grows blindingly large, and this other form of you would see as eyes just like the one on your neck begin growing on its skin, covering its body. The green nimbus of the eye grows brighter and brighter, like a sun entering supernova. It is blinding until the form is no more. It's just a blinding green light blazing down on you. With that, Ophelia, you no longer have keen hearing and smell.
Yay.
as you are no longer a werewolf.
It's the same.
And that's where we'll end today's session.
Are we waking up to a werewolf problem, Derek?
What was that?
Right?
Are we waking up to a werewolf problem?
Maybe.
Are we getting a long rest?
You are getting a long rest. This wouldn't happen till quite later into the night, because Ophelia would be waking up in the morning after this. So, anyone who wants to roll for long rest right now, absolutely can. Because again, I am still going to be doing stuff for. I'm going to be asking Migs, and then we're going to be doing Biner and Penny as well. But you know I love a good cliffhanger, so that's where we're going to end for today.
Good cliffhanger.
Yeah,
I'm gripping my chair.
it's fun
The
stuff.
fuck?
It's fun stuff.
Um,
It's very fun stuff. But with that, we're gonna do our stars and wishes for today. And we'll start our stars and wishes. We'll start with you, RJ. Any stars or
Ooh,
wishes?
A treat.
Oh yes.
My stars for today were hearing some rad fortunes, finishing those up.
Oh yes.
It was. I now see what it is like when you get prep time to do that versus pulling them out of the butt. So that was great. A plus. I really liked all the RP today. Like, chef's kiss, emotional, traumatizing. Dolly is there for flirt. Ophelia just trauma dumps.
Yeah. But to be fair, Ophelia has a lot of trauma to dump.
That's true.
And I thought it was a pretty cool interaction. Yeah.
It was good. I
all of
loved
her
it.
trauma is stored in the titty.
Lord.
My wish for next week is, fighting the thing that crawled out of Ophelia's neck.
Well, who knows? Maybe it didn't crawl out of Ophelia's neck. Maybe.
It's more horrifying and be better.
Maybe
Maybe I laid an egg.
Yeah. Well, no. Maybe the patron just took it and is putting it somewhere else for y'all to find later.
Yep. I'm gonna push Bikini Bottom over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to
Push
next
it
week's film.
somewhere else.
Exactly. But that'll bring us up to Cosmic. Cosmic, any stars or wishes for you?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah, again, the fortunes were wild as fuck. Some of that imagery was goddamn. Also,
Thank you.
yeah, no, the feeling is just the sensation of Ophelia purposefully whiffing her chance. I could hear it just from Dahlia's tone. I
Oh,
heard it and felt it deep in my soul. I don't know how that's gonna go in the future, but
it's added
I'll have
drama.
hope.
It's not a whiffed chance. It's that spicy soap opera shit. Yeah. But
Yeah, no, all that spicier piece, especially with Balthazar and Ina as well, and the fun little training montage that happened.
yeah,
That was great. Love that.
it's good stuff. Any wishes?
But wishes is that we don't get mauled by a newly released werewolf. That would be nice. Because that are terrifying. Hate. Well,
Just imagine that though, but with
I
a bunch
hate when
more
it-
eyes.
I love how it.
That was a
Hate it.
noise.
No. Jay, my RJ,
Oh, it's
Huh?
cutting out and out, Cosmic.
like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know what to
Yeah.
do about that, but that was it for wishes.
Oh, yes. All right, we'll hop up to Chris then. Chris, do you have any stars or wishes?
Again, the role play and the hearing the two more fortune tellings, the training, and with Binary whiffing on that pretty well.
Oh,
Um, but overall good. Wish would be is before we take our Christmas break, we get into a really tough combat.
oh, I know just the one.
Oh boy.
Why would you curse us with this?
Nah, I love that Chris loves combat. It means
I
I get to
also
do
love
some
combat.
fun, juicy stuff.
Listen, combat is very fun. I will not disagree with you on that. But also, that is like wishing death upon us. And
It's true, I have been on a streak lately.
Hello. I am the one most likely prone to death.
It's
The-
true.
No, you're
Yes,
not. You're not
exactly.
If
Balthazar.
we've done
You
it
don't go up
once,
to the
we can do it
gallows.
again.
Listen, he just has to hit me once.
Yeah.
Balthazar at least can
Also,
take 2 hits.
listen, I didn't go up to the gallows. I got near it,
Uh-huh.
but I never
Mhm.
touched it.
Uh-huh.
Never stepped foot in.
You just
Uh-huh.
like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching
Oh, Lord.
it.
All right. Well, that'll bring us to you, Corey. Any stars or wishes for you?
You know, my wishes are just the foresight and the huge amount of regret I have for a backstory and everything that's happened to my character in this campaign. Just sort of wishing to just change it.
Oh, no.
So, it's been fun, and it also sucks. No, like, I do really love it. Stars, yet again, yeah, just like the RP is all good. You know, I like adding the drama
Oh, yes.
to the Ophelia Dahlia stuff. It's some good stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially because I was pretty committed to doing it anyways. So, but yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else really for stars. RP really good. Wishes, just the huge amount of regrets and having better foresight. And then also, yeah, I'm gonna go with Chris. I hope we get into a real hard combat before our break.
I'm hoping we'll get there too. I think we can do it. We do some long sessions, but since Jen isn't feeling up for it, I think it's best if we stop here for today, and then
Definitely.
maybe
My last wish is that Chris and Jen feel better.
yes, that was definitely going to be one of mine too. Want Jen to have a swift recovery, because being sick is the worst. But yeah, my stars are. I'm glad y'all got to do another little training montage and at least start that. Failing sucks, but it does make me feel better about not just being like, you trained for 1 hour, you're now a shield expert. Cause yeah, that does feel a little more realistic. But another big wish, yeah, just our big star is y'all did some good role play, and you got some interesting info out that definitely hasn't come out in any of my other campaigns. So that's gonna be real interesting to see how it affects the story going forward. I'm very excited. Another big star is for the cool art that RJ did that moves, which I am going to move onto the stream real quick so people can look at it. Look at that. The eyeball, it
You did
moved.
so good.
Yes. That's a big star. And then I think we've got a couple of stars from our stream watchers. Oh, Migs had to put his stars in through the stream, I guess. So Mig says my stars
Oh
would,
no.
yeah, my stars would be the build up to everything and all the convos. Wish me not having fog brain. Sorry for being quiet, y'all. That fog brain was messing me up. Yeah, I also have had fog brain a lot this week. It's been a bummer. Stars from Dane. I really enjoyed the role play today, but I really hope Jen and Chris get better soon. And then also Dane is crying because Migs is dead. But with that, we're going to wrap up for today because I got to get some food in my belly. But it was lovely running for y'all, as it always is. Glad to be back after that little break. And y'all are excellent. I hope to catch everybody next time. Bye.
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 The